Part 5 of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu core concepts. We're going to address base in a slightly expansive fashion. So we're going to work on guard passing here. So James is going to be on the back. So we're going to address what we need to be successful in the guard pass. We were asking about this the other night. And we were talking about how you need to advance from the ankles to the knees to the hips. My goal is to get to his hips. And I mean, there are dynamic passes that I can do, like the leg drag, where I just use the ankle to get to the hips. But what we're going to do is sit up for the hips. What we're going to do is work on how to systematically enter into our guard pass and where our base needs to be as we enter into our guard pass. So we talked about hand fighting, getting past the hand, getting into the hips here, and getting past, if you're sitting in a good butterfly guard, I want to get one knee inside so I can start to get in on the hip. Alright, so that's the first thing we're going to do is as we're hand fighting, once we dominate the hands for a second, we're going to use that to step in, and we're going to use it to get to the hip. So my hand, lift your arms up here. So my hand is going right into the crease of the hip, my other hand is going on top of the knee, and I'm trying to turn him on his side. Alright, actually, let's come around so you can see what's going on this side. Alright, so I'm trying to turn him on his side, and I'm using the knee as the end of the knee as a lever. I'm using the femur as a lever to the hip. I'm using my elbow here to pin his hip. If I can pin his hip, and we talked about this a little bit the other night, where if I'm trying to guard pass him and his hips are free, he has so many options, right? He can re-loop, he can hip out that way, he can leg lasso me, there's a ton of options. What we want to do when we're passing is narrow the options down to one or two predictable ones. So by turning him here, like this, I'm making it so that it's really difficult for him to do anything in this direction. So his options are going to be to bring this knee in or to bring it over, which allows me to step in behind him. Either way, I've got a good option. But for today, what we're going to do is get into the knee cut position so that we can check our base. All right, so once I've pinned this leg, let's sit back up. I've dominated the hands. I've used the lever to the hip, and I've dominated the hip here. I'm going to step forward. You can see how I'm still in kind of a block. My knees and my shoulders are lined up. I haven't extended myself out past my base. I'm still in a block. As I advance in a block, this foot comes up, and this knee comes up. Now here, this is sort of the crucial base element of this. I do not want my shoulders to pass outside of my base. So if you draw a line along your knees, along your foot, with its contact surface, if you draw a line outside here and behind you, that is my base. If my shoulders move outside my base, I'm off balance, my kinetic chain is interrupted, posture, structure, all that. So for instance, I don't want to lean over this way. Just take me this way a little bit. See, immediately I lose my balance. So I want my shoulder over my knee. I can have my arm here, but my shoulder stays here. My shoulder drifts out, I'm out of base. Alright? Same thing here. My shoulder does not pass my knees here. I don't lean forward. If I lean forward, he grabs me, all of a sudden, I have to base. Alright? So I'm keeping my butt over my ankle, not sitting on it because I don't want an immobile post, right? I'm putting my weight into my knee, putting my weight into my elbow here, and here will be, there's lots of different things we can be grabbing. That's not really important right now. I just want you to get to this position. The guy on the bottom is going to grab you, and he's going to screw with your base. So we're just going to try to stay on top and stay in position there. At any point, we could just knee cut through. And that's going to be one of your go-to guard passes, your knee cut. So specifically what we're doing is a knee cut pass, but I want you thinking about it outside of the context of the technique, in the context of base. I dominate, I push him down, I get to here, I'm in a block, I'm in good base. If I'm in good base, he can tard out all he wants. As soon as he moves a little bit, I'm going to pass. Alright? Questions? I guess let's do it.